What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk a little bit why some DJs are tools. Let's not be one today. All right, let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Once again, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. I run a DJ company over here in Orlando, Florida, www.djsorlando.com. I also have a coaching business where I help teach the skills and the psychology from NLP, hypnosis, internet marketers, and much more. And now, Go High Level is so exciting. So if you want to learn more about that, links right here, www.coachscottking.com. All right, here we go. Got a little slideshow for you. Let me switch. Boom. Oh yeah, it worked out good today. Why some DJs are tools. Backhanded compliments exposed. So, quick little story. I did an event yesterday, and I posted a video, and one of my favorite DJs of all time, he was up there rocking it, doing his thing, and he dropped, yeah, boom, 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 yeah. And then he stopped it, brought it back, boom, 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 yeah. And it was so amazing. And I posted that video on one of my reels, and then all of a sudden, I get this message from somebody else in the industry, and I'm like, okay, let's read this. And here we go. It was a backhanded compliment. And before I read it, I guess let's talk a little bit about, giving a backhanded compliment. It's more like I feel insecure about what I am, so I got to go ahead and make somebody else down in order to feel better. And besides, a little tiny bit of time, versus like a 5-hour gig, and then you're like judging like how things are going to go, not even being there for the whole gig. And this amazing scratch and DJ and everything that he was doing was so mind-blowing that even to have a message like that sent to me, I was like, okay, let's see if we can analyze this a little bit. So let me find that message real quick. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Found it. All right. So once again, somebody in the industry, and again, if anybody wants to see the video, you'll have to hit me personally because I don't want to put copyrighted music up on the YouTube channel. But anyway, great DJ, but sometimes you just don't need to scratch, especially a song like that. I listened to how excited they got when the song was coming in, and when it went away for a couple of seconds to hear that, oh man, but then it came back once he went back into the song. Just my 2 cents. Less is more sometimes. Okay, so here we go. I don't feel secure about myself. I don't know how to scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and pick on somebody else. Even though he's a great DJ, sometimes less is more. So this is the thing about being in the entertainment business, right? Like, my DJs are allowed to be free to do what they want to do, to control the crowd. And besides, the scratch was like so amazing that like it's subconsciously telling the audience that, hey, look, this is my ride. You're on it. Let's go. So it's so many different things a DJ does when they're in front of an audience, and how they control and how they operate, basically switching up songs all the time and being able to be free to do what you need to do, and still dealing with requests. And we had rained on that day, and the guy was letting loose, and he was like showing out. And I got more videos of them just a whole full dance floor for like hours. And that was in the beginning. So when you do that kind of stuff in the beginning, you're setting the tone, right? So to have somebody else come up and then give me a backhanded compliment, or give this DJ a backhanded compliment, was more like, well, okay, maybe you just don't feel secure enough in who you are. So putting out somebody else down, would make you feel better. So number one, what happened? I put a video up on my reel so that, people could see that I was having a good time, and then, of course, demonstrating how amazing this DJ is. And then I posted the mix and received, a lot of likes and hearts from all these different people. And then, of course, somebody in the industry, I guess you could call them competition. I don't really think of it like that. Wanted to say something. So I got the comment, hey, good, but. Now, be careful when you hear the word but, right? Like, that's just a way to do negation of whatever you said before it. And you'll hear politics do this all the time. They use that word but. I don't remember which sample this was, but one of the politicians was talking to another one, and he said, I know you're not racist, but and then what's that do? That just puts it into their mind. And when you use the word but, it's kind of like, well, how much can I give you of a rebuttal, right? And then there's the impact. This seemingly innocent comment from somebody else who just probably operates in the world like this, where they just keep everybody down around them. And this just is how they operate. You couldn't even bring this to their conscious and have them change what they're doing. Like, the whole goal for me is to lift people up. When they start, tearing people down, it's kind of like, well, what's the whole point here? You just you have a successful company. Like, who gives a crap about your 2 cents? Go do what you were doing. I wasn't bothering you. And the thing is, these little comments, they pile up, and they're everywhere, like in the DJ industry, right? You just got to kind of watch, what people are saying to you and what is the underlying meaning, right? Their subconscious, when you talk to somebody, you're talking to somebody's conscious mind, but their subconscious is like filtering through, and then you got to be able to like, depict out what is really going on here when somebody is, paying you compliments or backhanded compliments, or do they really want to see you grow, or they just want to see you fail because they're going to use that information, and next time they're at the bargaining table at some other client, well, you could go with that company, but they didn't scratch too much, they won't keep the dance floor going, because they got a little bit of information and they think they know how the whole event went, right? So I get really fired up about this kind of stuff. So let's go to the next slide. Move my head around. Boom, boom. Over here, right? So decoding backhanded compliments. He says good, but followed by criticism of technique, equipment, or whatever style. Like, oh, you're really good, but you could be better if you just listen to me because I'm so great. And that's how people think. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to go and be like somebody else, I mean, you'd listen to them. But again, you're comparing yourself to somebody else rather than, looking at where the person is and then following down a similar path. Because, if a trail's already blazed, then, no sense of blazing a new path if the path has already been made. But you don't have to, take on every attribute somebody else does, especially DJing. It's the whole creative freedom to do whatever they want with an audience. And then when you go ahead and scratch and mix, you're just letting them know what your style is and setting the tone early. And that's just kind of how it goes. So I get, again, fired up. And what do you mean? I feel threatened by your success because, I got a whole bunch of views on this and, well, they just don't know better because I know more about DJing because I've been doing it longer and do bigger gigs. Like, oh my God, settle down. Somebody else is doing their own thing, right? Like, you can still do your thing. No one's bothering you. I'm going to do my thing. All right, just keep that in mind because there's a lot of sharks out there that'll try and sway you a different way. Stick to your path, stick to your profession, stick to your skill, especially somebody, sitting there getting rained on the whole time, just all this pent up anxiety, like I'm going to tear this crowd apart and not, and that's the creative freedom expression, right? Again, with keeping a full dance floor and keeping things moving and everybody was having a blast. I got videos of the whole night. It's crazy how much these people got into the dance floor. But anyway, so this is insecurity from the other person. I don't feel confident enough about myself, so I got to go tag somebody else. You're like, you got your own thing, right? All right, what's the next slide? Put my head in the middle. Boom. So toxic DJ traits. I would have done it differently. Well, you weren't the one hired, right? So this criticizes your choices of offering unsolicited, alternatives, someone being able free to do their own thing, right? And then if you're criticizing how somebody wants to do their freedom of expression, like, where does it stop? Like, am I allowed to do this? Can I not do that? Well, maybe he won't like that. Like, geez. I hired you for the show. I think you're doing an amazing job. Screw what this other guy says. And then, if you don't have, I need my guys confident on that stage, right? You got to look into a crowd and be like, be the one in the room owning this room. and I need my guys to be that confident up on stage, And then the subtle put down. Oh, I'm the expert, masters of the art of the backhanded compliment disguised as advice. Yeah. If I make you look worse than what you are, then I'm going to look better. And if I give you faulty information and then you end up looking worse, I mean, it only makes me look better, right? I remember when I was learning how to video DJ and I was really catching up to this other guy and I was just learning and the guy would give me faulty information on purpose because I was too close to catching him. And I don't even know what he was afraid of, but my video DJ career took off crazily, and it would have went even faster if the guy wasn't feeding me false information, and I wasn't even smart enough at the time to know that, right? So just keep that in mind too. Who's giving you faulty information to make you look worse than what you are, right? So again, that's not real DJing. Well, who died and made you boss? Who made you the god of all the DJs? Thanks for your 2 cents. I'm more experienced, so I know better. Oh my God, settle down. All right. All right, what's the next slide here? All right, so basic. You got to keep, you got to keep your mind open, and then like know exactly what's happening when people are talking to you, right? So toxic environment, right, creates hostility that poisons creative spaces, right? I want my guys to be, free to do what they got to do to make it happen, right? If they need help, they come and ask, but most of the guys I hire are pros. They've been doing this long enough to know what it takes, right? They've been through their trials and tribulations, and some of them maybe even a little scarred from, the business and how it is, right? So I definitely want them to feel confident and good on stage and look them dead in the eye and say, we're having a good time tonight, And then stifled innovation, right? Discourages experiment and bold creative choices, right? Sometimes people just got to make that choice and live or die by it. And if you're new to DJing, that happens all the time. And then sometimes, if you're doing something that hasn't been thought of before, you might get criticized, or you might become world famous, like DJ AM or something. Like, he was doing a lot of crazy things that, people were controversial over, right? So talent exodus drives promising artists away from the scene, right? I want to make sure that my guys, I have their back, right? And I want them to do whatever they got to do. And then, also somebody taking like a minute clip and then judging the whole night over it, that's just ridiculous. I mean, in my opinion, and then what I seen and heard because I was there, was that like, hey, look, I'm going to do this right now because it's flashy, and I want you guys to be on my boat, because that's what it takes as a DJ to subconsciously program your audience to say, hey, look, this guy's here to have a good time, and he's really talented, right? We're on this boat. Let's just take this journey together, And that's exactly how the night went. And then poor reputation, right? Makes the entire DJ community look unprofessional. Like, if you guys are just going to, shark attack each other, then that's why people on the outside be looking in and going, hey, I don't know if I want to join that industry. And you know what? On top of that, I'm not saying lawyers are any better or any other industries any better, but for somebody just starting out and maybe not very confident, I want to bring this to their attention. This whole channel is about what I went through and having to deal with this crap, and then, being in such a prestige, industry, that this will get to you. Even though this is one little comment, imagine 10 years of that. That will drive you insane. My freedom is explaining it to the audience here. All right, let's go to the next slide. Boom. Move my head around again. Woohoo! All right, so how do you deal with it? You got to call it out. You got to, hey, look, this is what you're doing. I don't like it. Stop it. No one's bothering you. You go your way, I'll go mine. Or just ignore it. Don't say anything at all, right? Don't engage, right? Don't, like, my response to whatever that message was, thanks for your opinion, I guess. Backhanded to backhanded, right? Like, I wasn't asking for this guy's opinion. And then focus inward, right? What can you do to grow yourself? You don't have to, sit there and take somebody else down all the time, right? You don't have to do that. You can just figure out what the next avenue is that makes sense to you. That's why I went to marketing. That's the whole reason why I went to marketing, because I was in an industry and I didn't know how to grow myself. And then because I'm a video editor, audio editor, I was like, I'm built to be a marketer. Like, let's do that. That's more exciting. So that's why I'm here doing that. And then, of course, you want to support others, right? If somebody else is having a hard time, and I see you guys, you drill other people in these Facebook groups, you don't know what their mental is, you don't know how old they are, you don't know how long they've been in the industry. They're just probably in their mind thinking they're asking an honest question, and people over there are just drilling them. And it's like, well, welcome to the industry. If you're going to make it, you got to deal with these guys, these tools. the whole industry is filled with them. Oh my God. It's worse than you think. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so let's build a better community, right? Like, lead by example. So that's why I'm here. I'm calling it out so that you guys can recognize it and then, go your own way. If somebody's going to give you a backhanded compliment, you probably don't need to steer in that direction. Now, if there's money involved and you got to work for this person for whatever reason, gain that as experience and then move on. Make plans to do something else. Just get away. I understand you got bills, so that's why I'm here. I'm the marketer. I can help you out. So anyway, give constructive feedback. Like, hey, man, maybe that show wasn't so good. What can we do to improve? What can we do to get better? Not like, oh, I would have done it differently because I'm so much better than you. Like, what the the hell? And then recognize excellence. When somebody's good, appreciate it, right? Somebody in your community, they're doing a great job and they're like amazing. Oh, you're going to critique every little thing, right? Are you a Karen? No, it means you're not confident enough in yourself to appreciate somebody who does have talent. Remember that. Don't be a tool. And then up next, collaborate. If the other person is not easy to get along with, find somebody else who is. I mean, just because somebody's talented doesn't mean they're like a good person, right? My DJ happens to be very talented and a great person. Both. Like, how did I find somebody so freaking grounded, right? Love the guy. So yeah, collaborate. And if you can't get along with someone because of their attitude, go find somebody else. Okay, so the choice is yours. Move my head over here. Boom. The tool path. Continue the cycle of negativity. Feel temporary superior. And then ultimately remain isolated and insecure. And then have people around you that can't do anything because all you do is put them down. The better path. Break the toxic cycle. Lift others up automatically. Make sure they do good. You want the people around you to succeed. If they end up growing away from you or another opportunity comes around that's more beneficial to them, that should be rewarding to you because you helped them get there. And then grow together in a thriving scene. And that person won't forget you either. They'll remember. They'll come back when you need them. So basically, guys, that's all I got for this video. I mean, something that small means the world to me. And if I can help somebody who doesn't understand what's going on because these little things are happening, these micro movements are happening all the time, I'm here for that support. You guys have a good day. Thanks for watching the video. Give me a thumbs up.